At this time, I'd like to have the pleasure of calling up Mayor Armstead to give his annual State of the City address.
Thank you. Good evening, all. Good evening, Council President, Yamakaitis, elected officials, family, friends, and residents of the great city of Linden. Let me begin the annual State of the City address by wishing you all the happiest and healthiest of New Year's. As the poet Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "Write it on your heart that every day is the best day of the year." My sincerest congratulations to Councilman Ralph Strano, Councilman Barry Javik, Councilwoman Rashana Cosby Hurling on their re-election, and to Councilman Garnett Blaine and Councilwoman Monique Caldwell on their election to City Council. I wish you all Godspeed. It's an honor to begin my 6 years as your mayor. My family has called Linden home for 4 generations, and serving as your mayor is a privilege that few have held and one that I honor and cherish every day, and for this I am grateful. A lot has happened since I was sworn in as mayor on January 5th, 2015, and I'm happy to report to you today that the City of Linden is financially sound, ever expanding, and is a celebration of diversity. The key to being successful is to make Linden affordable. If you recall, and if you don't, I'll remind you what I promised when I ran for office 6 years ago. I promised we would eliminate the garbage tax. We did. Since then, we lowered taxes twice and intend to do so again in 2020. Unfortunately, for better or for worse, New Jersey has a property tax-based system. Cities and towns that have a solid tax base, residential and commercial, are the ones that thrive and ultimately will survive. While gone are the days when companies like Exxon and General Motors were huge taxpayers, it's imperative that we do everything we can to bring in new business and redevelopment. The larger commercial tax base, the less homeowners have to pay. So that's why development is key in this town. With a growing majority on the school board who work closely with this administration, budgetary discipline has finally been imposed at the Board of Education. With that being said, I would like to welcome the members of the Linden Board of Education who are present here this evening. As I look out in the audience, I see that our board president, Greg Martucci, could not be here, but he's represented by what I refer to as better three-quarters. Raina Martucci, thank you for coming out and representing your husband this evening. I see we have Kasha Kozak, a board member, and we have Doris Johnson, another board member who's here. Thank you all for coming. Oh, I'm sorry, and Carlos Rivas. Thank you, Carlos, for attending as well. I'd like to congratulate Greg Martucci, Sinead Gilliam on their re-elections, and Carlos Rivas for his successful election to the school board. History was made as they gave the city a 0 tax increase this past year, and this was the first time since becoming an elected Board of Education. They're to be commended. I know you will all do a great job to keep the school board taxes down again this year, and I thank you all for coming this evening. Here are some facts you may not know or have heard about. In Linden, there's a record 21,000 plus Linden residents who've secured jobs. Our unemployment rate in Linden is 3.5%. This is below the national average. Our crime rate is down. The Super Fresh supermarket has opened on Style Street, and they've hired 64 Linden residents. Now, we promised we'd get that store back open, and we did. Blue Apron prepares meals and employs 2,000 people, many of which are from Linden. The Super Walmart has opened on routes 1 and 9 and has hired between 175 and 200 Linden residents at our Legacy Square Center. A Chick-fil-A, Hook and Reel, LA Fitness, and a Holiday Inn Express are on their way and will soon be under construction. Linden has also become a leader in renewable energy here in Union County. Some of our green projects are as follows. Aries Clean Energy, who will build New Jersey's first biosolid gasification facility, which converts sewage into biochar for agricultural use and fuel. This renewable energy project will generate approximately $440,000 annual revenue to the city. $40,000 which will be used and developing and implementing a training program for Linden High School students. This program will train the students in the trades that support wastewater treatment operations and gasification technologies. Areas will work with the Linden Board of Education and the local trade unions to design a comprehensive curriculum in addition to funding this effort. Our old city landfill, which has been closed for the last 20 years and has cost the city over $200,000 to maintain each year, has been recently leased to CS Energy, who will install a solar farm on the 55-acre site and will generate approximately $280,000 a year in revenue to the city. CS was one of 44 energy companies in New Jersey who will be allowed by the BPU to participate in a New Jersey Community Solar Program. This program allows CS Energy to offer upwards of 1,000 Linden low and moderate income residents solar-powered electric at a reduced cost. R&G Energy is building an anaerobics digester plant on the old Clayton property. This is at the base of Trimley Point Road. This will produce biogas, which will be used for heat and power generation and in making a fertilizer product. This plant will cut down on greenhouse gas emissions and reduce the carbon footprint. The revenue from this project will be well over $1 million annually. As you can see, with these green projects alone, the city will realize close to $2 million per year while saving the city the maintenance and engineering fees at our landfill. And I'm proud in turning our city green. Let me discuss some other projects that are going on in our town. City Village, which is a mixed-use project on St. George Avenue, is under construction. Their phase 1 is scheduled to be completed this spring. The site was vacant for almost 40 years. It's proof positive that an area of the city that was long neglected is turning around. Plus, this puts this property back on the tax rolls. It will be an additional revenue of about $12 million to our city over the next 30 years. Meridian's Lifestyle 2 is scheduled to open this year. It's another key component to our transit village, and this project over the next 30 years will add approximately $16 million to the city's coffers. Meridian 1001, the former United Lacquer property, will be another residential retail development. The developer has already paid the city $1 million for the property and will remediate the property. Over a 30-year term, this project is projected to provide the city with an additional $30 million in tax revenue. It should be noted that we haven't received a dime in taxes on this property for over 30 years. The Linden Station Apartments projects on the old JTG scaffolding site is under construction, with a scheduled completion date by year's end. Over the next 30 years, this project will add approximately $25 million to our tax base. And while we're talking about our transit village and projects around the train station, I'm delighted to report this evening that on January 9th, we will be meeting with the upper echelon of New Jersey Transit to discuss partnering with them towards a common vision of a spectacular, functional, transit-oriented development that we can all be proud of. Wood Springs Suites Hotel and Cube Smart is under construction on East Linden Avenue, and the city will receive approximately $13 million over the next 30 years. So as you can see, we're moving in the right direction. Advanced Greek has begun construction on our Linden Logistics Center. This will be a 4.1 million square foot warehousing district in Trimley Point. This development project will be the largest industrial development in New York, New Jersey metro area, and the largest warehousing district in the Northeast upon completion. The developer is currently obligated to remediate this property. It is projected to provide Linden with an additional $140 million over the 30-year term. This project will create 3,000 well-paying jobs, not to mention the construction jobs that it will provide. Lastly, at the former Siemens mattress factory on Brunswick Avenue, City Council has referred this location to the Planning Board to allow a 5,000 square foot warehouse to be constructed. If approved, this will be another great addition to our steady stream of increased taxes to our city for many decades to come. More good news. We were recently notified that an engineering firm has been hired by the state to start the beginning stages of the Connector Road. As many of you know, this long overdue project we've been fighting for since the days of Mayor Gregorio, and we're looking forward to that connector road to reduce traffic on our Southwood Avenue corridor. To help residents better understand how redevelopment works, on February 19th at the John T. Gregorio Center from 6 o'clock to 9 p.m., our LEDC Director, Alex Laspinoso, our Redevelopment Council, McManaman, Scotland, and Bauman, and our financial professionals, NW Financial, will be hosting a redevelopment educational forum for all of you who would like to attend. This forum, we hope, will help clarify any concepts or misconceptions that you have with regards to redevelopment and pilot programs. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the city's workforce and all who work hard to make Linden a better place to live, and I want to thank you all. In our fire department, we swore in a new fire chief, William Haskell. I've known Billy for most of my life, and I know the fire department is in good hands. I'd like to welcome Chief Haskell once again. Last year, I mentioned we were hiring 8 new firefighters, 2 of which were going to be our first female fighters, and I must say, all of them are doing extremely well. And this year, we're hopeful that we'll hire 10 more to add to the complement. This past July, they held their first Youth Fire Academy, and it was well attended. With that said, if any students going into 7th, 8th, or 9th grade are interested, keep an eye out for the announcement. In our police department, under the direction of Chief Hart, we've hired 13 new police officers this year, and we'll hopefully be adding 8 more this year. In 2019, the police department did the most community outreach in its history, and this includes the initiation of a Linden chaplaincy program. They also held their 2nd annual Youth Academy, and will be hosting another this July. This academy is also for students going into 7th, 8th, and 9th grades. I'm proud to say that our crime rate is down, and I want to thank the chief and our many police officers. And please let us not forget in today's world that it's not easy being a police officer. Frank Dan, our Director of Public Works and Public Properties, has retired as of December 31st. I'd like to thank him for his service to our community. Recently, this department implemented a series of changes with regards to our recycling and garbage collection. And although we still will be collecting bulk trash curbside on a quarterly basis, we'll also be allowing Linden residents for the first time to bring their bulk trash to our Lower Road facility. This past year, we put out a newspaper called The Recycling Corner. If anyone didn't get one, please call my office. We have plenty on hand that we can redistribute. The men and women both of our Department of Public Works and Public Properties work very hard to keep Linden and our community a safe and clean place that we can be proud of, and I can't thank them enough. In the Recreation Department, Al McDonald, who was the director, has retired after many years of service to this community, and I wish him Godspeed in his retirement. To fill his vacancy, we've hired Ralph Dunham, and I want to acknowledge him at this time. Ralph, are you here? As many of you know, we have one of the best recreation departments around. They host an array of programs for our youth and our seniors. Every year, we put on a summer concert series, which is well attended by many from all over the state. Our children have many parks that they can go to, and during the lazy, hazy days of summer, have an opportunity to attend day camps or just go to the park and join in many activities that are implemented by our park directors. One last thing in our recreation department, we lost an amazing woman this year in Nancy Braxton. Nancy gave of herself tirelessly, and at this time, I would like to take a moment to honor her memory, and I'd like to ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. I would like to wish George Verchik, who also retired from his position as our city engineer, Godspeed to him in his retirement, and we thank him for the many years of service to our community. At this time, I'd like to reintroduce Nick Patina and welcome him as he is our new engineer. I'm certain he'll do a fine job. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my office staff, Rebecca, Leanne, and Alex. To be perfectly honest, I'd be lost without them. They go above and beyond the call of duty, and that's a fact. So I thank each and every one of you for all you do for me. Again, thank you to all the employees of this great city, whether here in City Hall or out in the field or in other buildings, for making this city a great place to live. Because without you, there'd be no me. Now, there's another side to being a mayor that's equally important to our community as its development, and that is the residents who live here in our city. This administration is committed to bringing the public together and providing events that foster a sense of unity that reminds us all how important it is for us to be a community. These events would not happen if it were not for those volunteers who work tirelessly to bring us together. Our Mayor's Youth Commission, our Linden Cultural and Heritage Committee, our Special Improvement District under the direction of Mike Bono. They've been working together tirelessly to bring many events together for our residents of this town. Some of these community events are as follows: Kids to Park, the Mayor's Unity Day, our Latin Festival, which was the first we had this year, it was an inaugural festival, our Polish Festival, another one which was the first we had this year. We had our first Haitian Festival, our Back to Pack School for You, September to Remember, Breakfast with Santa, Christmas tree lighting ceremony, our holiday celebrations, and many others. Another important committee is our Linden Municipal Alliance. They've been busy bringing educational programs to our children and their parents. They also conduct training sessions for residents who want to be more informed about recent drug trends, as well as alcohol, drug, and social media addictions. We encourage any and all of you who may be interested to come and join with these committees. Before I conclude my State of the City address, there's a key component I cannot forget, and that is my family. To my mother, who couldn't be here this evening, who would love to have been here, and my father, who was always in my thoughts every day, and I miss dearly. To my brothers and sisters, your love and unrelenting belief in me through sickness and health, through hard times and good times, helped me understand that anything is possible. To my wife, Danny, and my children, Erica, Brianna, Ashton, Ryan, and Abigail, who all believed in me every step of the way, thank you for standing by me as I followed my dream and for being a part of this incredible journey. Thank you all for your patience and understanding. I'm so proud and lucky to have you in my life and by my side. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Let me end by saying that what I really love about Linden of 2020 is our diversity. Linden is the 9th most diverse city in the state. We're a community of many colors and languages and faiths. For those of you who like me, who have prospered in this great country of ours, I say that we should welcome those who come to Linden seeking a better life. Let's not build a higher wall, but let's build a bigger table so that everyone can sit at it. God bless you. God bless this great city of Linden. God bless the United States of America. And thank you for allowing me to be your mayor.